Okay, YouTubers, I've never done this before, so we'll see how this works. Some of you may or may not know that 2006, 2007, and 2008 Ford F-150s, there are no, and I mean no, aftermarket mounting solutions for a winch, behind the bumper mounted winch, or even outside the bumper mounted winch for those year trucks. So to make a resolution, I didn't know this before I bought my winch. What I've gone and done, and as you can see here, this is the Badlands winch from Harbor Freight. It is a 12,000 pound winch, and I bought this on a whim because I went to Harbor Freight one day and they had a tent sale, and it was an open box. It was the old model, and they had it for 180 bucks. You guys know that usually they price them in there. They're always listed for right around 400, 500 bucks, but they usually sell them at around 300 bucks. Well, this one I got for 180 on sale because it was an open box. The box was actually destroyed. So what I wound up doing is getting that one, and it sat in the garage because I had shoulder surgery, couldn't do anything. And I tested it to make sure before the 90-day return ran out whether or not I was actually going to be able to use it or not. And that winch actually did not work. So this is what I actually, sorry for the shakiness, I'm using my phone here. This is what I wound up getting. I went to exchange it, and they gave me even trade for their brand new model 12,000 pound winch for the original purchase price. But what I've done so far is I have removed the bumper on my truck, and as you can see, it's a 2007 F-150 4x4. And I think the main reason why, and again I apologize for the shakiness of this video because I am holding it by hand, but well, let's look at it this way. I think the main reason why they didn't have a mounting solution is because of this right here. This is your transmission oil cooler line. Between the bottom edge of the oil cooler and this edge where the front bumper mounts is, I believe it was 8 inches. Let's see. Bottom edge there, right at about 8.5 inches. And then we have this ridiculous, there's the frame, same on both sides. See how wide this is here? This piece here goes all the way over here, and it is actually it's about a foot wide. See if I can get a tape on it so you can see it. And again, I keep apologizing. Yeah, it's 12 inches plus, nearly 13 inches wide. I can't really read it. It's 12 3/4 inches wide. Wow. The only thing that holds this bumper on is there is a bolt that goes right there, and then there's a bolt that goes right there. Same thing on the other side, and then right here, here, and here. You take those 3 little 1/4 inch head bolts off, and those, I think they were 21 millimeter nuts off, and then the bumper falls off. You just have to make sure that you disconnect your fog light connections, which I have done, and I've just kind of laid it in right up here until I get done doing what I'm going to do. So what I've done, I haven't figured this out completely yet, but what I wound up doing, and I know this is overkill big time, I went and bought a piece of C-channel. It is C8 with a 2-inch web. It's A36, so it's mild steel, but it is hardenable if I would to choose to harden it. And I took some measurements, got my holes drilled, as you can see here. Holes drilled. This will be where the fair lead end of the mount. But as you can see here, looking at the frame, this is 30 inches wide, this piece of steel. And if you look here, it's hanging on the tow hooks where the bumper mount is. So the winch itself is actually 21 1/2 inches wide. So what I have to do in order to make this fit is I have to cut about 1 inch off straight down here on both sides just to make the winch fit from left to right, the width of the winch. And then at the same time I have to make sure that the back of my mount here does not hit my coolers. Now there is a piece of this plastic stuff here, I don't know what you call it, the rubberized fiberglass, kind of moldy, foldy plastic stuff that goes in with these little plastic pins. I'm sure you guys have all dealt with them before. I had to take that off, and what that does is it funnels air through this hole in the bumper right here where I'm going to put my fair lead, and it funnels air up into the radiator and into the oil cooler. So that kind of makes me wonder whether I might have a little bit of high transmission oil temperature, so I'm going to have to address that once I get this in here. But with all this grill area here in the front, I really don't think that that's going to be an issue. And if it is, then I will just design something where it forces more air down into the transmission oil cooler. Or what I had originally planned to do was custom make some extensions from my transmission oil cooler lines right here and raise the transmission oil cooler up to about right here, so it'll be sitting in the middle of the radiator. That was my original thought. Then I started looking at it, taking measurements, like I might be able to do this without doing that. So what I'm looking at doing at the moment, it's 4 inches from this edge. Sorry, I've got my finger in front of it. It's 4 inches from this edge right here, which is where the top of the bumper is, to the center of where I want my fair lead is. There's a long hole. Let me show you in the, you guys that have that your truck know what I'm talking about. Got the bumper here. Took it off yesterday. Hang on just 1 second. Let me put the phone down. So as you can see, it's a good size hole. I can stick my hand in it. So I'll be able to control the release on the winch and stick my hand in there to turn the lever and everything. Stick my hand in there to plug it in for the wire, the remote control to control the winch. And this thing is, I don't know how wide it is. Let's see, it's about 30 inches wide, that big hole there for the air intake. And I'm hoping that it's not going to cause a problem, but I honestly don't expect it to. That space is actually right at 31 inches wide from the top. The widest part at the top, because it kind of tapers down a little bit from the bottom, it's 28 inches, 28 and a half. But as you can see again here, the width of it is 3 inches from top to bottom. So there's plenty of room to stick your hand in there and to operate the winch. And I'm planning on putting my fair lead right there like that. I haven't exactly decided how I'm going to do that. What I'm probably going to do is cut my bumper, bend these folds out right here, weld plate in there on the back side and the front side, reinforce it, and then I'll use some plastic dip paint or some other kind of rubberized paint or something like that to make it look good. And what I'm actually kind of thinking about at the moment, because I actually haven't decided how to do this yet, because in order for this to sit in here properly, to get it how I want it, the 4 inches, if it sits on, if you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but that frame rail tapers downward towards the front of the bumper. So if I try and sit it on the bumper, it's going to be tilted down, and that's going to make the winch tilt down, which might not be such a bad thing, but it could cause problems. So I may shim it here to make it flat. But what I'm thinking about doing, I was thinking about just cutting a notch right here. Just cutting a notch in however much I need on both sides. Cutting the length off here so the winch would fit in between these two pieces. And then just laying this piece of steel over that and then bolting it straight down into the frame. Drilling it and bolting it. I can weld it if I want to. I haven't really decided, but what I'm thinking about doing now is actually cutting. I haven't taken the measurements yet, but cutting here and then over and just cutting that square piece out and then boxing it in with a piece of steel and actually using these bolt holes that hold the bumper on to bolt it in this way, and then I'll bolt it in here, then it'll be bolted to the bumper mount and to the frame, which will keep it from twisting. I don't know. I'm going to have to see how this works out, but I think that's where how I might go. Either, in any case, I'm still going to have to cut about 1.5 inches of this off. I got plenty of room between here, the edge of this, and the bolt mounting hole for the bumper. So that's where I'm at so far. I hope this is going to help people. I'm going to update this video as I make progress, and hopefully that my phone will post this to YouTube, so you guys that are out there that have 2006, 2007, and 2008 Ford F-150 4x4s that may want to put winches on the front of your truck will have some idea at least of how you're wanting to do it, because I'm wanting to leave it looking as close to stock like as I possibly can. The other thing I was actually considering was just shimming it out, putting this thing on however I wanted so that it fit and didn't interfere with my oil cooler line, and then shimming between the bumper and this bumper mount, just cutting that little cut right here where I was talking about before, so there's enough width for the winch to fit down in there, and then putting shims between the bumper and the bumper mount so it brings my bumper out, I don't know, 1 inch or 2, and then buying a piece of plastic just to stick in there to cover up that space. It would look fine. It would look almost like factory. But that's where I'm at so far. Hope this helps you, and I will keep you up to date. For now, This is Clint. I don't have a name for my YouTube channel. I had one, but I lost that one, and that was about the good Lord in heaven above, and just for you guys out there that are in the Republic and that are patriots, honor them, use them, carry them. But don't do it without God in your life. Jesus Christ is the Savior. Keep that in mind. And I will update you guys on this project as I make progress. Thank you.